kids. It is week 3, volume 3, going strong with Girl What You Reading, which is my weekly reading update. So this week, my short weekly reading update. So this week I am reading Delicious Monsters by Liselle Sambury. Shout out to Shay. She got me this signed copy of the book for my birthday. So sweet. Because when she was hanging with Becca, they went to a book fair, con, festival thing, and Liselle was there. So this signed copy, super pretty. I'm so grateful. I don't really have the space for physical books in my current live sitch. I have a bunch of books, so I don't have the space for any more physical books because I have so many books from school. But I do like physical books. I've been saying for the past few years that I don't have the time to sit down and read them, but maybe I'm switching because, just like the times that you're most productive studying changes every couple of years and sometimes every year. And I think maybe the way that I like reading books is going through a shift. Now, I still think audiobooks reign supreme for how I prefer to read. But when I opened this book, even just now, because I'm still listening to the audio Delicious Monsters, and I just went and grabbed it because I never get to do this, where I'm just like, I'm reading this book, because I always have to put the cutout on the screen. So this is very fun for me. And even just moving through it, I just quickly finished reading the chapter. I was on chapter 4. I only had a page left of it. I didn't realize that, so I was flipping through trying to see where I was in the book. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just finished reading the chapter 4 in the physical book. And it was so fun. So maybe I will hybrid read Delicious Monsters. Maybe. Who knows? So yeah, I'm reading Delicious Monsters by Liselle Sambury. This came out last year, this very time of the year. So quickly, let me read you the synopsis. It's a dual POV book. There's 10 years. So it's Daisy 10 years ago, and Brittany, she's supposed to her name just like me, Brittany, and in a present time that is 10 years prior to whenever Daisy is. So Daisy sees dead people, something impossible to forget in bustling, ghost-packed Toronto. She usually manages to deal with her unwanted ability, but she's completely unprepared to be dumped by her boyfriend. So, when her mother inherits a secluded mansion in northern Ontario, where she spent her childhood summers, Daisy jumps at the chance to escape. But the house is nothing like Daisy expects, and she begins to realize that her experience with the supernatural might be no match for her mother's secrets, nor what lurks within these walls. A decade later, Brittany is desperate to get out from under the thumb of her abusive mother, a best-selling author who claims her stay at Miracle Mansion allowed her to see the error of her ways. But Brittany knows that's nothing but a sham. She decides the new season of her popular haunted web series will uncover what happened to a young black girl in the mansion 10 years prior and finally expose her mother's lies. But as she gets more wrapped up in the investigation, she'll have to decide if she can only bring one story to light, which one matters most, Daisy's or her own. As Brittany investigates the mansion in the present, Daisy's story runs parallel in the past, both timelines propelling the girls to face the most dangerous monsters of all, the monsters that hide in plain sight. So, I'm interested. I was interested when I saw it a year ago when it came out. I was interested when it first got released and the synopsis came out. I was super interested. But I have been in a fantasy reading slump for quite some time, and if you saw the reel that I put up today, you know that it's been about 3 years. And so I downloaded Delicious Monsters on Everend, which at that point was Script, and it has been on Everend for a year. And so when I was ready to read it, I was like, oh, it's already in my library still. So I just, started again. But reading it this time, I think I finally gave my wind back beneath my wings for fantasy and speculative, and I am just so delighted with this book. I know already my heart is going to be broken. My heart's already broken for Daisy. I'm more like, my heart's not broken for Brittany yet. I don't know the extent of what she experienced. I'm only just now in chapter 5. I know her mom was abusive. She hasn't yet said what that has all that's looked like. I know it's looked like neglect and her like leaving her in their apartment while she crosses the full-on border with her boyfriend and goes on a shopping trip. Like, I know it's been like that. I don't know what else it is. What Daisy's experience has already broken my heart in two. And some dissociative things I'm seeing about, like, she cuts her hair in, like, chapter 4. And it's mostly relaxed, but a bit of it, because she hasn't relaxed it in a while, is natural. It's grown out. And so she shaves her hair, and I'm like, cool, fully on board with that. Love it for you. But when she says it, she's like, well, let me just read it because I can. Ah! Wow, the excitement that I feel. Okay. It's actually what I was reading just before I pushed play. So she's just cut her hair. There is a bit of body horror in this book also, but there's an author's note in the beginning that gives all the content warnings. Lizelle's very good about that. So, her mom has just come in and she's seen her hair and she's like, what did you do to your hair? And this is Daisy's internal thought. The girl in the mirror didn't have straight hair anymore, nor did she have a mix of the two textures. All that was left was half an inch of puff around her head. My hair. And it just that. And there's a line break also. Like, the more, like, serious the story is, like, the more serious the content, and the more I feel like the character's psychology is super important, the more I pay attention to the format of the book, like, where the line breaks are. And so seeing her have this up here where she's, like, the girl in the mirror, and then the line break of my head, the line break of my hair, I'm just, like, it feels like you just had a little dissociative moment right there where you're talking about the girl in the mirror as if the girl in the mirror is not you, and then you come back to yourself and you're like, right, me. And so I am very early in the book. It's 502 pages. I'm on page like 31. And I want to know what happens to Daisy. I want to know how Brittany finds out. A source, a sort of deep throat caller told them there's something going on in that house and you should go on with your show and figure it out. So I'm just really interested in how Daisy and Brittany's stories are going to run parallel. I'm really interested to see Daisy's psychology continue to unfold. Yeah, I'm really excited for this book. So that's what this girl's reading. Delicious Monsters by Liselle Sambury. I'm reading it as part of the 3rd annual Missy Elliott Readathon. The group read is Delicious Monsters and a anthology edited by Jordan Peele. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, that I'm reading it as part of the group read, and I'm really excited. That's one of the good things about Read-a-thons, is it gives you a reason and an occasion and a community to read a book with that you just have not had time to, or haven't prioritized, or have been too scared to read by yourself. Like, it gives you an automatic buddy read. And I'm really grateful that I'm having another push to read this book, because this could be what yanks me out of that terrible 3-year fantasy slump. So yeah, I'm really excited. Really, really excited. I'll let y'all know how it goes in the next, maybe by the time I do my rebellious reading vlog, my rebellious reading report, I'll be done with this, and maybe I'll talk about it then. Who knows? Have you read Delicious Monsters? Let me know in the comments. Have you read it? What do you think of it? Have you read it once? Did you only get through half of it? Is this your second time reading it? Are you doing the Missy Elliott Readathon? You should be. Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like this video. If you have not subscribed, absolutely please hit that big red button so we can be internet friends. And make sure you ring that bell. Ring that bell so you don't miss a single upload, short or live. Bye.